Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, guys. Where today we're gonna be painting at 3 a.m.
I told them not to do that, folks. How you doing? Welcome back to the show. Tonight, the little guy is going to be doing just about the finishing up, other than some touch-ups. You know, I always fix some of his mistakes. On the Partha Mecha Dragon, it's really, really coming together. Really looking good. While he does that, I am going to be doing a little bit of work here on the Star Schlock preview miniatures they sent me. I'm really digging these miniatures. I still have a lot of work to do before I'm done, but...
Yeah, he's done a lot more than the last time, I believe.
Yeah.
He also added bases, he added some rock, he added a big rock on one of them.
Yeah.
He did add a lot of sand, which is weird, I don't really like that, but it still looks good.
You're just going to use every old joke you possibly can.
Yes.
The bases, I do my usual glue some sand, and for this I try to give it kind of a Mars look, where I base everything on the base with pure red from Army Painter, and then I dry brush it with dry rust, and then I give it a little bit of soft tone, and then I'm going to go back over it with some more dry rust because the soft tone just darkened it up just a little bit too much. But I wanted to show you before we start, because this is going to be a big part of the video for the little guy. We got these new little gadgets. I've talked about them before.
Have you?
Yeah, I actually have.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, look at that.
They're different sizes.
I didn't even notice that until just now.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Good that we put the one where we actually put stuff in the bigger one.
Right.
That's good.
This is my homemade wash. It's just black craft paint, lots of water, and 2 or 3, maybe even 4 drops of dish soap. It's been so long I should have wrote the recipe on the big bottle, but I didn't. And then I just poured it into these pin wash bottles.
You find the recipe somewhere else?
Yeah, I found it on a really, really old video, and I don't even remember who. I think whoever I got the video from, or the recipe from, doesn't even make videos anymore. There's a lot of YouTubers we've noticed that have stopped making videos, and that's a real shame. And at the end of the year, we're actually going to make a video about a lot of the YouTubers that we really like that aren't making videos anymore. But real quick, it's just a squeezy bottle with this little rubber stopper cap here, and I don't know if you can see that. It's got it's literally about as thin as a needle syringe with a flat cutoff here, and basically you just drop a little bit of it and move it. As you see right now, I can actually make a line with it, and it just goes into the nooks and crannies. Why don't you show them off where we did the pin wash already?
So,
take the cap off.
The cap off? That's not really a cap. I believe...
It's the other side. Flip them around.
Right here?
Yeah.
Well, we already did it on the other side as well, but the way the pin wash, it goes here. In some places, it went a bit too far, but...
It's our first time using this technique, so...
I mean, we've used this before on...
But, I mean, this actual little device, yeah. And basically, you just, you apply the ink, or wash, if you will, in the little nooks and crannies, and use the needle to kind of like a brush, and maneuver it into the little spaces that you want. So all the black... Thank you! Oh, that's my boy! Okay, let me just sort of demonstrate a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Everywhere you see black in here, we just dropped it in and then used the needle to sort of push it around.
And anything that was in a place we didn't like, we just soaked it up with a brush.
Right.
Surprisingly easy.
Yes.
Actually, not really, because it's basically just water.
Right, but a little paintbrush like this, maybe a better one that's not so flowery at the end.
Yeah.
But you can just sponge up any unwanted pin wash, and it comes right up. It doesn't stain because it is the surface tension is broke by the dish soap, and it just goes right down into those cracks and crevices, right where you want it. And as you can see here, it looks a lot better. It's easier to see because the wings and stuff aren't in the way, and it just gives it a little bit of shading and shadowing where you want it. Now he's going to start tonight by dry brushing with, what is this color?
It is the Arm Painter Metallic Blue Elven Armor.
And we really like this whole set. We did a video.
This one isn't as good as, or at least I don't think it's as good as the Gunmetal Blue. However, we think this one works slightly better for this one in particular, so we're not going to use this one. So, on to actually dry brushing.
Pick out a good brush.
I think that's too much or enough.
Yeah, that's way more than enough.
Okay, I think I'm actually going to use it though, just because there's a bunch of
get yourself
things.
a good, comfortable dry brush. And he's just going to be doing basically dry brushing some.
Work?
I think that's a little too flowery. Get something a little narrower at the end.
Okay, this one?
Yeah, I think that's going to be better. And he's just going to be simulating light effects coming straight down onto the blue areas of the wing. And then when he's done with that, he'll go into doing the pin washing. And one thing with the pin washing, because it's so...
On here, right?
Yeah, wherever you... And just... he's kind of doing a combination of dry brushing and edge highlighting at the same time, just to simulate light coming, from straight, like if it's high noon and the sun's beating straight down on this dragon, just to give a little bit of. Yeah, I can already see the difference in that one edge.
Yeah.
And the problem with the wash and the mixture is that it's so runny that any slight movement will force it to, go to the next lowest point on the miniature. So he's going to do that last.
Yeah.
And then after you've done it, you really have to keep the miniature level so that the wash will dry from the top down into those crevices, and gravity and evaporation will get all that wash into the lowest point of the crevice, so to speak. Now, I'm going to do a little painting myself here. Let's see, what shall I start with? I did re-strip this drone trooper. I didn't actually use my Sonic cleaner. I just left him in LA's Awesome. And it took about 24 hours, and I got about 99% of the paint off him. And I've been using a Mecha wash to get in those little gray lines like on his legs and his hands and things like that. He's kind of looking a little dirtier than in the Kickstarter page, but I'm okay with that. I really, unless he's in, like a Death Star or a really nice, clean environment, a white Stormtrooper uniform, unless it's made out of Teflon and it has some sort of, anti-static gadgets, it's going to get dirty. I've seen a lot of paint jobs of actual stormtroopers for different Star Wars games where they actually really muddy up the feet and the knees and stuff. And I'm kind of thinking about going that route, more of a crutch than, actual talent, just because I can't seem to get him to really, shine bright white like I'd like. But he looks pretty good. Not as good as John did on the Kickstarter page. He did an excellent job in addition to being a great sculptor. He's a phenomenal painter, and I'd like to see the beta rules for the game as well, because he's already knocked 2 out of the park. I'm guessing the game's going to be a lot of fun also. If you guys have looked at the Kickstarter page, or if you looked at the Facebook page for Star Schlock, you may have noticed something I noticed in the game. There's a mechanic where they have these little miniature bases with what look to be like almost like Lego lightsaber bars to represent the laser blasts in motion. It's really kind of an interesting game mechanic, it looks like. Yeah, there's literally a miniature base with a little wire sticking out and like 2 like blasts of laser energy coming at you.
That's news to me.
Sort of in mid-flight, just hovering there, like a snapshot in time, to where they're just sort of, on their way to their target or about to hit their target. It's really kind of a neat little, aspect to the game. I saved some lightsaber bar-like plastic from the model car you would have seen us working with in the Speeders video this month, and I'm saving them just for that exact purpose, so that when we start playing Star Schlock will actually have some lightsaber bars. I don't want to use the ones from Legos because, that's
Okay,
sacrilege.
I think I'm done with.
Okay, now did you do the end of the tail?
Yes.
Did you do the? I think not here. Oh, you might have done here.
Yeah, I did.
These little spiky things on the back of
I
its leg.
did the legs, but not exactly there.
Okay, and then I'm gonna break out some of this Mecha wash and start working on the actual Astro Guards. Make a little mistake.
Another big mistake, but I fixed it.
You've got a mistake brush and mistake water there for you.
And I did the exact same thing again as soon as I.
And this wash, I don't know. This Mecha wash, I've actually been using it a lot, and I'm going to actually need to get another bottle of it. But it's very much like my homemade wash. It's just a little bit better, and so I really save it for miniatures where I use the wash that I created. I mixed up, it's the same recipe as the black, and I'm saving that for when I start working on some Dungeons and Lasers terrain, which I'll be doing later toward the end of the month. And are you almost ready to start doing the pin wash yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get this
Do I
on.
do the blue on both sides?
Yeah.
Good, because I.
Because you already did.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, but I did.
And if you, I don't know if you can see that, but I could have literally painted that visor with this wash if I was blind. I call it painting by braille. You really, when you use these washes just right, you don't have to actually be able to see very well or have a whole lot of talent. It goes right where you want it to go thanks to gravity. And I'm guessing they probably are using something similar to the old floor polish wax, whatever that stuff was that people used to use for their washes.
Okay.
Because it just goes right in there and just settles right where you want. And it's so thin that you can then go back over and dry brush without obscuring too much of the detail. Okay, now let me finish this guy up real quick because I'm probably going to have to hold the camera so that we can actually watch you do what you're doing. I didn't really get much done, but...
So, we... Oh. Hey, can you
Did you
make
spill again?
No.
Okay. Okay, now let me also...
What video was that? Was it a painting video?
Yes, it was. I think it was...
The Vampire Dracula's.
Yes, where you spilled the gnome oil and you know what? I when I went to Games Workshop this weekend, I
Did
told...
I just start putting it here?
Yeah, but I would turn them around a little more, like I showed you.
Like this?
No. Yeah, like that. And I talked to our Games Workshop guy, and I told him how you call it gnome oil, and he got kind of a kick out of that. He'd never heard that before. I'm really surprised. Can you guys see what he's cooking up there?
What? No.
Okay. Don't worry about me. Just worry about what you're doing.
Try to make sure.
Yeah, I can see. Okay, now I can't.
That's nice.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault.
It's kind of harder to get it in these smaller areas. Is this the one that we used to get rid of this?
Yeah.
So, as you can see, it...
Yes, if you make a mistake, you just wipe it away.
You don't need any extra water. Ah.
Chair fart.
I wish I didn't say anything.
Just keep your hand nice and level. Doing a great job. Perfect. Try to use that little dot on your hand.
No.
Okay. If you don't get paint on your fingers, you're not really much of a painter.
You think that's enough?
Yeah, there's only one spot I think he missed, which is right kind of under his butt.
What do you mean? Oh.
Right there.
Oh, I just kind of wanted to keep it thin, but...
But that's a really shaded area,
That's true.
and the light wouldn't really be hitting that. There's a joke in there somewhere. And now you're going to do the neck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feel like... So you want to at least try to get the paint or wash in as many places without actually putting more.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
you're
just want to
probably
spread
gonna...
it around, and then once it dries, you can reapply it if it's not dark enough. I went a little heavy on the other side. You know, it was my first time ever doing this, and you know.
Also, I've noticed that it seems to just want to drip out anyways.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You almost don't even need to squeeze the bottle.
For me, I haven't needed to at all, which
yeah.
It's not hard at all.
Yeah, that's a good thing and a bad thing because you want a little more control. Maybe what I'll do is I won't fill the bottle so much next time.
I think it's just gravity.
Yeah, and it's the dish soap in there is going to make it just want to slide right through that tiny little aperture. You know, it's tiny. It's you know, it's like a syringe at the end of it, but it's really it's going to open up a lot of doors for us. You think you're done?
Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, I'm going to have to zoom in there real quick just to get a good look. You see that, folks?
I believe, well, it's kind of hard to turn around.
Right, you actually got to keep it like that, and I'll get the box so that you can rest it. And let me just put the camera... Sorry, you have to look at our
Ceiling.
dinner table and ceiling there. But
that's fine. Do I just leave it like this for a while?
For a while. Oh, sorry, folks. Extreme close up.
Yeah, I'll still try to, because obviously, as it evaporates and dries at the same time, it will need to reapply it in some spots where it just kind of stops. Oh!
You just dripped all over you?
Yeah, I don't even...
Use a napkin and give me this.
I don't even know where that came from. Well, at least now we know why we have a 3.
And there you have it.
Oh, that's actually really smart.
Yep, thank you.
Which is surprising.
Oh, come on now. So I didn't really get to paint a lot tonight, but we really
continue afterwards.
Yeah, we really just wanted to show off these new bottles. We got them. Believe it was 6 of these bottles for $5 at Hobby Lobby. You can probably find them elsewhere. And I don't know if they're actually called pin wash bottles or not, but that's what we're going to call them. But they come in like a blue package with, like I said, either 6 or 8 of these little bottles. Definitely well worth it. Definitely going to think about putting my Games Workshop washes in these. I think the larger bottles will definitely hold. You know.
The only problem, well, I mean, you can still dip them onto a pallet, so.
Right, exactly. And
even though we could just put them into drop bottles from someone else, but that's still.
Yeah, you know what? Let's put that on the back burner because you're right. We have probably about 10 or 12 Army Painter empty bottles that I've been saving to put other paints in, just because these bottles, you're paying for them, might as well reuse them. We reuse everything. Plus, these caps are kind of cool. I'm actually thinking about using some of these caps in a spaceship build. But there you have it, folks. Short video, all about pin washing and the final steps on this raw Partha dragon that we've enjoyed the heck out of painting. We hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we hope you guys, those of you who are still actually looking for one, can find one. I promise you, I won't bid on any of these raw Partha dragons on eBay.
Except for the ones that you will.
No. Well, I'm gonna be looking for the ghost dragon and maybe the cyborg dragon and the Frankenstein dragon, but I will not be. Yeah, I won't be bidding on any of the Mecha dragons.
Except for when you decide to do the... Oh, God, what just happened?
No. We've got 3. We've got 2 more still in the box. So that's it for us tonight. Hope you guys had a great weekend and have a very nice week. It's going to be cooling off here, which is, mixed blessing for us.
So remember to like and subscribe for another Shadow and Sun video.
In his best 3 a.m.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.